Welcome back to All Things Pink. Today, I'm really excited to have with us my really good friend, Kristi Jacobs-Williams. It's really funny because I have a hard time saying that because I've known you
That's just Kristi Jacobs.
for so long.
Yeah, we go back to like what, first grade?
Was it first grade?
They just tore Green Valley down.
I know, and I definitely wanted to talk to you about
Green
that
Valley
today.
Elementary.
I know, and it's funny because as soon as I heard that, I like literally could sing the song in my head.
I couldn't do that.
Like I
I'm
remember,
impressed because I couldn't do that.
remember the
I just
first
remember the
song.
paddle over the principal's office. Why I remember that? Because he spent many a time sitting next to each other, deciding who was going in first.
And what's
True
really
story.
I
I won't
know
name the
it's a
third
story.
person, but she's still.
Go ahead and tell the story.
I can't tell. I can't name the third person.
You don't have to name the third person, but like this is literally how far we go back.
Yeah.
So what happened on that day in first? Was it first?
It was more than one day.
I think
First
it
was all. It was first grade. I was only there for first grade because then they shuffled me off to Barnesville School.
Oh, okay.
And they decided
That's right.
That's when they decided my problem was that I was bored, and then they sent me to Gifted and Talented. I went from like, but
I forgot all about that.
I was stripped away from my elementary school because of our shenanigans. They were pretty good shenanigans. We weren't doing anything bad.
Well, I think that's what's really funny. So
We're just jumping right in.
everybody knows the story because whenever we're together, like out in town or whatever, like that story comes up.
Yeah.
So now you have to tell the story.
The boy chasing the boy. Which one? You're gonna tell me which one? The boy chasing with the shirt.
The shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we would get in trouble because at recess we decided. Now again, there was a third involved in this, but I'm pretty sure she's knowing her for all these years at this point as well too. It wasn't her fault. She was just along for the ride. I'm pretty sure it's her and I. I'm pretty sure I was the one coming up with all the great ideas. But we decided that in order to capture, we were capturing boys because it was very important for street to capture boys because they didn't want to be captured.
Exactly.
They want to be captured. Well, maybe even less now, but I don't know. But they did at some point.
Yeah.
We would decide that we should tie our shirts up.
Yeah, you
Dukes
like
of Hazzard
you
was
like
a great,
roll it
was
up.
a big shirt.
Yes.
And we would tie our shirts up in these little first grader little t-shirts, and we tie them up to make the little Daisy Duke outfit, and then we would chase them and capture them, and I think we were at some point we were too aggressive. We were
Or
too aggressive.
it was thought of
Too
as being
aggressive.
too aggressive.
These days, I don't even know what could have happened to us. We could be in a whole other world.
Oh, I
of
know.
trouble
I know.
these
Like
days, but we were cute then.
that was like
Little
innocent.
we got sent to the
playing.
principal's office, and they would sit. And back in the day, that was paddle days. I don't think I ever actually got paddled, but the
I
paddle.
don't remember ever
Principal
getting
would
paddled.
hang the paddle above his office door, and then you would sit in line waiting to be seen. It was almost like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We
We would be waiting in line to be seen, and of course they were little kids. We're like little pushing each other out of the way, trying to make the other person have to go last. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Part of me was like, maybe I was overthinking it. He should go first because maybe he wasn't even warmed up yet if he was actually going to paddle anybody. But
Exactly.
then we
That's
got
actually
paddled.
advice I give when people go to court, like judging,
Seriously.
like
Don't be
it's
first.
okay, or don't be like
Or be
depending
first. Be first,
be
because then they
first.
get upset with the day and they just want to end their day.
Or they want to go to lunch. I can imagine.
Right. I would want to go to lunch for sure. But anyway, that was our
Yeah.
one of our core memories from
And what
elementary school.
if you compare it to what happens now? Pretty much everything that we did was on a lower level, like
Sure.
than what we have to worry about now.
I wish I could remember any of because obviously growing up and then going to Linganore, I came back to school. I came back to Newmarket, and they didn't have any gift and talent after elementary. So when elementary wrapped, I came back in and re-meeting everybody again and kind of being thrown back in with the crew again. Sometimes I still wonder, who were those boys that we were chasing? Because
I don't know. It's probably somebody I might still know.
Then they used to put us all together at recess. Like the whole grade would be there. So it literally was probably if any of our 1992 Linganore Lancer classmates want to give a shout out, let us know who it was. And we were. I mean, it's terrible.
It
is also hilarious.
It was funny, and it's so funny to like look on back on all of that, and it's really cool that some of us still know each other.
Oh yeah,
I have to credit social media.
Linganore, such a strong alumni group.
Yeah,
it's actually something we'll discuss another time. But a business networking group.
It is.
Got to think about putting together.
Yeah, I mean,
called the Lab Network, the Linganore Area Business Network.
Nice.
It's with the lab. I think
Nice.
that'd be good. I just plugged it. It hasn't happened yet, but yeah. Because I just said it. I just
You
manifested.
just manifested that for
And I was
real.
hanging out with another older alum too that runs Mike's Auto Body. And we know people that are younger, we know people that are older. The Lingenar people just seem to.
I think that's great. I
Yeah.
think it's like, I mean, so when I heard that the school was going to be torn down, like a piece of me was like, oh man.
Yeah.
And I think
You went all 5 years there? Or six?
yeah,
Did you go to kindergarten there
I
too?
did.
Oh, see, I was just there just to
I
get
lived
you.
right up the
I
street.
was just there to get you in trouble. No. Yeah, I know you live
Yeah,
close.
but it's kind of like, I said, I'm officially that old.
Mm.
You start to realize these things. You're like, oh my gosh, that's very sad because the school has been there. I guess it was kind of newer when I
I
went there.
maybe,
Because it's
yeah,
like the
because there weren't a lot,
70s
there
or
weren't a lot of people
something.
living out there. Yeah.
So you're kind of like, wow,
Plus,
like
the whole
it
area
like
has changed
hits
so much.
you that
The whole area.
well,
Well, even where
yeah,
I live now, I live in Holly Hills now,
okay,
right? And
yeah, yep,
I grew up off of Penn Shop Road in Purdom,
yep,
and that was all
yep.
Lingener territory. Well, when we were in school, I moved from Penn Shop in the Purdom area up to Mapleville near Fry's Brewing Company, so up near Liberty Town, which is still Mount Airy. It's just way up part of Mount Airy.
Yeah.
But what early 2000s is when they started having to build more schools. It was like, oh, Urbana is going to be built and Lincoln needs a facelift. And now we've got Oakdale and like all this other stuff. So where I live now, when we were growing up, was Lincoln territory.
Yeah.
So in those neighborhoods and along those roads, I know there's all that place like back like Lincoln in general, which
Yeah.
is now not even,
You can like
kids don't go to
drive
Lincoln,
there,
they
like,
go to Oakdale.
with your eyes
Like,
shut.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
but it's
cool.
so crazy when people talk about the different districts and stuff. Now you think about where Lincoln was. Lincoln was literally the entire half
Yeah,
as a county.
it was.
So we drove so far and we knew
Yeah.
people from so far away, and geographically it just seems like so many people are still in the area, which is kind of wild. But yeah, social media, you have to give
That
social media some credit for pulling everybody
I think
together.
so too. I don't think it's all
Not all
a
negative.
completely bad thing.
Nope.
So I want to talk a little bit about you,
Mm-hmm.
and what you do.
What I've done since then.
Yeah, like
No, I'm not gonna say everything I've done
on
since.
this show, we definitely celebrate successful women,
Right.
successful, empowered, strong women, and so kind of like tell our
Yeah.
viewers like what you do.
Yeah, so I am on I'm on year 30 real estate career. Started very briefly in new homes, and then ended up going onto the resale side of things. And in between, because in real estate, especially back then, there was no fake it till you make it like there is now with social media has really empowered a lot of people to get real estate careers up and running or crash and burn very quickly. It just depends. So I had to kind of work other jobs. I mean, you get into real estate when you're only, 21 years old.
Oh yeah,
You're not going to really do a whole lot because you're not in the clubs yet. You've never owned a home, you're not married, there's different
right.
parts of branding that really don't fit. I still feel like sometimes when I talk to people on the phone, which is like cold calling has never been my thing and I probably will never do it ever. I think I sound like a child when I'm on the phone. I know. And I'm like, oh, honey. I'm like, you when you're younger, you just aren't accepted the same way you would be accepted when you're older in real estate. And just
Interesting.
reaches a point, right? It's kind of like one of those bell curves where it's kind of like people assume, well, if you're that young, how the heck could you know what you're doing? What 40-year-old's going to trust a 20 couple year old with a major purchase? Probably not very many. So I did work a couple of other jobs in marketing and coaching. I did a lot of coaching. I actually started part of the reason why I think I'm in the position I'm in today and why I've met so many people that I've met today and why I've landed where I have, where I feel like I'm not like you feel like you've made it, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, I feel like I've done as much as I can do with the amount of energy I'm willing to expend, especially as I get I've crossed the 50 threshold and I'm like,
Yeah.
but I played soccer my whole life.
Right.
Including when that's why I
Yep.
was very fast when I was chasing boys. And that is why I also was picked first for kickball teams when I would go to other school. Well, not first. There was one other girl who was better than me. But
That's okay.
but I was
That's
very
okay.
so I started coaching. I played soccer my whole life, and then when I went away to college, I coached a younger girls team in college. Granted, I was only 17 when I went to college. You're young like me.
Yeah.
We were thrown into school without it. Then we graduate high school and we're still minors and we go to senior week at 17.
17. I
Senior week
know.
at 17. I can't believe
You
my
need like
parents
a
let me.
big ID when you go to college just to be 18.
Which now I'm old enough I could say, which was supplied to me by a senior that I was
We
dating
don't
at the
have
time.
to.
So
Yeah, I was like,
I
we
don't
don't
mind.
have to
I'm
say
an open
whether
book.
we did or not.
Oh, I'm an
I'm
open
just
book.
saying.
Go ahead. Try to catch me
Yeah.
with that charge. But anyway, um, I coached. So I coached girls. I coached middle school girls when I was in college. I wasn't even that much older than them, but it was a great experience, and it gave me a lot of great perspective between like where I was, and I didn't know at the time, of course, where I was headed. I was getting a psychology degree at St. Mary's College of Maryland down in Southern Maryland. And I was playing NCAA soccer down there, of course, but
Mhm.
it gave me some perspective as to what kids are thinking, what their parents are thinking, where am I at. I love giving the guidance to the younger girls of the how to play, because I feel like team sports, especially something like soccer, it's bigger than the sport, right? You're
Of
learning how to
course.
get along with people. You're learning about common goals. And it's hard for me because I'm very much a me. And it's hard for me to be like, oh, you too? Okay. If you're, I can't do it without 10 other people in soccer. So
Yeah.
it was a wonderful experience for me to learn how to incorporate other people and maybe to get more people to do my evil bidding. Maybe to say how to like kind of create that dynamic. But so, and then I continued coaching. So I came up here, graduated from college, got into real estate, started working towards that goal. Didn't know exactly what my goal was going to be. And somebody asked me the other day, I think I was with my son who's now decided not to go to college, which think it's a great decision for him. And he's doing electrician stuff. And,
Nice.
and when he said he didn't want to go to college, I think at first he thought I would be like, what? What?
Yeah.
But he's like, well, and I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm going to do when I grow up. I'm like, and it's too late because they keep telling me I'm grown. Like I keep getting like AARP cards, and I bought a retirement in
Oh,
Florida
I
already, and
know.
I'm ready. I'm getting ready. But coaching and doing all these things and then coming up into the real estate world, I kind of organically grew my business. Again, I wasn't it's a luxury for people in real estate these days to be able to create a following and create instant advertising and marketing without spending thousands and thousands of dollars on ads in a newspaper
Yeah.
or direct mail. All that stuff still works sometimes for some people, but most people are doing it through social media. So I grew my business, and the pivotal point in my business honestly it was the end of 2018 into 2019, when I was divorced. I was kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do next. I had just met the person who actually ends up being my spouse now. He's
Yeah.
husband 3.0. Um, third time's the charm. I swear. I'm
I
doing it
don't think it's
again.
a bad thing at
I
all.
found a wonderful partner in life who's able to support all my craziness. He's brilliant, brilliant guy, and he's just very driven, and he knows a lot of things, and he's just enough on the autistic side that it balances me perfectly, and I love it. It's
That's
such a great match.
wonderful.
So
Do you
he's
think
that.
that that's finding that when you're older, there's a reason
Oh, 100%. We already said.
why?
Oh, no, no, no. We've had this discussion
Like,
many
can you
times. I was like,
imagine,
if
like,
I
me
met you, bro,
yeah.
if I met you even maybe 2 years prior before I had a chance to go out and date and do the things I wanted to do and figure out who I was as an adult, right? Who are you as an adult versus who you may have been? Like when he got married, he was only like 21 and she was like 19.
Oh
Didn't know who they were
gosh.
as adults yet. And they were together a long
I
time.
know.
Sean and I were together for
Yes.
15 years around about somewhere in that. Oh, less than that, maybe 12 years. But still, we were in different stages of life. When you meet somebody and you're kind of at that established stage, both I think in your business and in your personality, maybe when people continue to change, we're very dynamic.
Absolutely.
When you
Absolutely.
meet somebody and and all the things fit, that's why for us there was no hesitation on it either. It was kind of like, this is great. Like, let's do this thing. Like, it wasn't like, no, we must wait for 5 years until we can get engaged, and then we must move on to the stage. We're like, ah. Okay.
Yeah.
But the reason why a lot of stuff kind of went in fast motion and why my business changed, and I think the reason why am, I hate using the word success because I think success, I mean, I think you can judge people differently on that, and I feel that way too. Like, I don't feel like
Everybody has a different
I could have
definition
made
of
a
it.
ton of more money in real estate. I could be doing a ton more volume. I could have a huge team and all these things, but I don't feel like that would make me successful. I think my success is balancing like my quality of life and
Yeah.
my personal life and my ability to just like enjoy every single day and enjoy what I do versus feeling like something was draining me. So my bank balance, yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna say I'm not. I'm not. I mean, but I've earned every single penny of that. I work with
Exactly.
people don't work. I've made the hard
Yeah.
choices to not go out and not do things and not have all the
Yeah.
fun all the time. Now, mind you, I do like to have a lot of fun. I'll host big parties because then I can catch up with all the people that I miss because I'm out working. So
Yeah.
I'm finding that balance. But what happened to me at the end of 2018, I had neglected my physical health for a little while. I was played soccer several times a week. I was working out a lot. I was very much in like that go, go, go phase. And what I didn't know at the time is that apparently I had had 4 bulging discs and degenerative disc disease. I played soccer my whole life. I did roller derby for 6, 7 years, maybe 8 years because I coached there too.
Yeah.
I coached
Yeah.
the fresh meat. I coached the new ladies how to skate. And what I didn't realize is that apparently I'd had all these back issues, but I just thought it was coming up as an athlete. You're like, my back hurts. I don't feel my toes out there. Rub some dirt on it. And I got things to do. I don't have time to go to the doctors. Didn't like doctors. Didn't even carry a lot of health insurance after my divorce because I was a non-smoker, super healthy, never had any health issues. I'm just carrying catastrophic. Catastrophic event happened on New Year's Eve when I basically reached down on the floor to pick up a piece of paper. My sciatic was hurting me really bad. And I reached down to take a piece of paper, and apparently my discs all kind of exploded at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Hit the ground. I'm paralyzed, like actually paralyzed. And I'm laying on, nobody's home. My son's at his dad's for the weekend. The dog is with me. So I wake up. I passed out, I think, for a couple minutes. Wake up, and the dog is standing over top of me, like,
Oh my God.
poor dog. So he's like, what is this happening? So I don't know where my phone is. I can't feel anything below my like armpits.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I start trying to
Oh,
drag
so
myself.
sorry.
I think my phone's across the room, 20-foot family room. Took me 20 minutes to get across it, dragging myself slightly because every time I'd move the wrong direction, I could feel like I would feel nothing in certain parts, but then I'd feel a ton of pain and just nausea, and I would almost pass out again. So anyway, long story short, I get there, was able to reach my phone, grab a little cheap IKEA table that I had, like a plant stand, and I pull the phone down to me, start making phone calls. I'd only been dating my husband for 3 months, and he was living in San Diego.
Oh my God.
So then my second call, actually that was my first call, was to Sean, to my ex-husband, and my son, who were like, Happy New Year.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. I was like, what is like
I
the
was like,
worst?
no. I was like, no.
The
come get
worst
this
night
dog.
ever.
Come get this dog, because if I have to call 911, somebody might shoot this dog.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try to get into this house and scrape me up off the floor.
Right.
This is before midnight. So I also was like, and I'm not calling 911 till after midnight anyway, because I'm not paying 2 co-pays. That's 24-hour pay. I was like, that clock resets. Yes, I did. I stayed on that floor for a couple extra hours to make sure that I wasn't going to get charged. I'm always a thinker, even when I feel like I'm dying. But so they came. And of course, my poor ex, bless his heart, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in life. And we're
I know,
still
I
really
love
good friends. Yeah, Sean's great. And he's just like, well, you made it. He brought my son's mattress topper. He kept trying to roll me onto it. I was like, touch me again. Don't touch me. So ultimately, he took the dog out, and I called, and I had a friend come over, and I called the ambulance, and they finally took me in, and I was in the hospital for a week. And
Wow.
during that week, my whole thought process was, crap, I kept this house because my son wanted to stay in Tuscarora district, and and Sean had moved out to his family's old property out in Inesville, Monrovia, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And the whole time I'm thinking, what if I don't? Because one of the neurologists was like, oh, well, I said, when am I going to play soccer again? Well, he's like, oh yeah, you might never walk again. I was like,
Oh my
number
God.
one, I don't like you. Number two, bedside manner, no stars.
No,
No
yeah,
stars.
sorry.
But I'm like, hard news.
I'm not having that.
Hard news is hard news. But I'm stubborn, very
I'm the
stubborn
same way.
individual. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So I had a lot of really good friends that I started making phone calls to. I'm like, okay, I don't have insurance for, I've moved home after 5 days in a hospital bed in my family room. And from that bed, actually from the hospital bed, I took a real estate supervisory course because I knew I needed that to even hire anybody for a team. So that's something that could be shown on property to my clients. Because one thing you can't show in real estate, and this is where some people shoot themselves in the foot in their brand, you cannot show personal times of weakness and personal times of trauma. You don't share certain things. People think I share everything. I don't share much at all. I share very surface level things because you never want it to seem like you can't still do a good job for them because you've got too much going on in your personal life, right? So I did all these supervisory courses, and I hired somebody to take my clients out and show properties from a hospital that I was still keeping. The machine had to keep moving. So I'm laying there in bed thinking more, and I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? Okay, my house, I'm going to have to probably, if this guy's, I took what he said true. I called a bunch of friends and started had people working on things. A physical therapist person. Hey, am I doing this the right way? Am I doing this? The Mecklers actually are awesome. They showed up to my hospital room, brought me products to kind of like ease some of the nerve pain and stuff like that. Because Jason had gone through back surgery and he's avoid surgery at all costs. And I took that to heart. So I never had surgery. So I just consulted with people who had been there, really. And
Which is always a good idea, pretty much when any
So
level.
my dad comes over and he starts putting in handicap improvements in my house.
Right.
And I started thinking, man, what if I'm, and every day I was kind of getting a little better, but I didn't want to get too excited.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking at things. And then Josh flew in from California and he was kind of looking at redesigning the first floor of the house to accommodate potentially a walker, a wheelchair. And I'm like, I just
Right.
met this guy and he's already redesigning my house. And this is, yeah, I was like, man, he's a keeper, right? Wow, man. And I was also like, gosh, I should push him away because I don't want someone
Oh,
helping
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Hard to let someone help you.
Yes.
It's
I know
weird. I think we're
exactly.
the same like that, but
Well, if you've gotten used to doing it yourself
yeah, you don't
and
you don't trust anybody
or
else.
you didn't have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and you always had to do
yeah.
everything, it's weird. It's kind
See,
of
with
like
me, it was more like I just don't think anybody else can do it as well as I can. I'm a jerk.
there's always a level
I'm a jerk.
yeah.
I still have that problem in my real estate business now because I don't use transaction coordinators. I don't use assistants. I'm to the point now where because I'm multi-state, I'm getting my license in Florida and I bought investment properties in
Mhm.
West Virginia and in Florida. I have to just release some of it.
I think that's
I'm not
part
still ready.
of
It's growth.
its growth and getting older and I did always did everything in the business on my own and now I'm kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I could it's totally okay.
So
I've
this business
accepted
was
it.
born because I basically consulting with Josh and he's like got all these ideas too. And I said, he goes, well, why don't I started talking about the improvements. Luckily, I ended up not needing them. I
Mhm.
was able to teach myself how to walk again from my easily bed. And I was doing all these loops on my little walker chair and I was doing all kinds of physical therapy on a daily basis. And by July, by the end of May of that year, I ran a mile on a treadmill. Because I would go to my garage every day and just pluck away at it a little bit until I felt any kind of
That's
hip ache.
amazing.
Then I run away. I played my first soccer game in July of that same year and never looked back.
That's
But
a lot of
never had to.
experience.
Oh, it's. I'm very lucky too. Like the odds of that are so low, and I'm
Yeah.
super blessed in that way. But my business was born of that because while all this was going on and we're doing these handicap modifications, I sat there and I said to Josh, I said, man. This is like a niche that's kind of not really being serviced very much in Frederick because I couldn't find anybody to come do it for me. So my
Right.
dad being a builder
Mm.
forever, and Josh was actually a contractor out in Arizona.
Mhm.
So he kind of he's now in law enforcement, but he with the government. But now he had that base of knowledge. He did commercial and he did residential. He
Yeah.
still has a business out there that his dad and a partner run. So he's like, well, I can just get my MHIC in Maryland. Say
Right.
the whole concept of our parent company, which is called Homestead Mods,
Okay,
which
okay.
does a lot of the pre-market improvements to people's houses that I do now, which really don't have anything to do with handicap modifications. Occasionally they do. We do have people who ask us to do that stuff
Right.
for them, and that's always a lovely I like that stuff because I've lived that way for long enough to remember what it was like.
It's a
And
piece
we're
of
short.
you.
And we're
Yeah.
short. And short people
Yes.
already have to do that sometimes. I got the little reachy grabbies all
I
over my
have
house.
to climb on things all the
Oh,
time at the
grocery
store.
store.
Oh
We get to the
god.
grocery store if you climb inside of the frozen case to get
A
the stuff
million
at the
times.
top. And you're kind of like looking around like,
Like
I don't know if I'm supposed to be climbing on
that
this.
I don't even care. I'll climb up on the
I don't
shelf
even
if
want
I get
either.
something.
But I'm
Do
like,
you
"Can I
know
go
how
on
long
the
it would
shelf?"
take to get somebody to come over to help
I
you
know.
do that?
And it feels
No.
and it's not fun to have to ask people all the time. Excuse me, sir, can you help me get
I
this
typically
jar of the
just
top?
don't have time. Or like the washing machine.
Yeah. Oh, I can't reach into it.
I
I
always
gotta get
have
my
to hoist
grabby thing.
myself. Oh, I
Yeah.
just hoist myself up and like I have to
Yeah, I'm
basically
just
fall
scared I
in.
would fall in. I've been just
I'm almost at it.
I
Like
would-
I've almost
I've
slipped
used
and
mop
like
handles. I've used anything to get that sock.
be
That
like,
last sock out of the bottom. Like,
Corey,
oh.
you have to pull me out of the washing machine.
The only time Josh and I fight is when he puts dishes away. No. And he puts them on a shelf in the kitchen that's like,
Oh, too far for you. Yeah, like I'm like,
well, I don't
what?
do it on purpose. Well, if it came out of the dishwasher, I didn't think you'd used it. What if it came out of the dishwasher?
Then obviously it's been used.
Somebody's been
Like
using
I
it.
know. It's
And
like
everybody else uses paper plates. I like real plates. Thank you.
I do
No
too.
silverware.
I like
And
real
plastic.
plates.
Yes. So,
Or I like to use paper plates
yeah.
so we don't have
But so
to
yeah,
wash them.
exactly him too. But I'm like, no, I want if I'm making food. Yeah.
I
So as this was
know.
6 years ago. So yeah, it's 6 years ago now. It's crazy.
Wow.
And now at this point, so what I did is I kind of transformed that as I became mobile again, and I kind of took over, and the person who was helping me with showings decided to go a different direction, and it was good timing because Josh got his real estate license at the same time, so I was able to keep my team, and then slowly grow up from there. And I literally created a model that now there's another company that has a nationwide model that's very similar to this, where I was in a I was in a decent financial position by then because Josh is also extremely good with money and figured out how to
Yeah.
get me out of some of my own little like leverage
Right.
goals and take the
Right.
equity I had in my current house and all these other parts of the deck were shuffled. Um, and so I got to the point where I realized I was able to make my clients more money on their home sales by helping them fix it up. Because a lot of times people's equity and their net worth is in the value of the home. So say somebody's house today is worth $400,000 on the market, and it's because they haven't had the financial ability to put on a new roof and paint
Oh,
the
for
floor. And
sure.
now I
That's
do a
the big
ton of work with our people, with
yeah.
our Gen X folks. It's their parents, the boomers.
Yeah.
I'm helping them age out. And what's happening is a lot of times people are coming to me like people just like you, people like anybody else from our class, plenty of people from our class. And they're like, hey, mom and dad are ready to sell their house down in wherever it happens to be, like Linganore or in Mount Airy, or, there's a million different like so many places that we knew they were the original owners of the house, but a lot of times that generation didn't keep things current or keep things maintained a certain way. They learned what they learned growing up and
Oh, of
didn't think
course.
of what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And some parts of the house just age out anyway. Windows on a house are going to age out no matter what you do. But a roof, yeah, you probably should replace your roof every so often. And these days, you can't even get insurance if you're trying to buy a house and a roof is older than 15 years. A lot of times the companies charge you much larger premiums, or they won't cover you at all, especially if there's what's called three-tab shingles.
Yeah.
It's an older style of shingle that
I know
really
exactly
fail.
what
They
it is.
fail a lot worse. You're like, I might know a little something. No.
I know exactly.
But I come in, and the problem is that if they could sell their house today for 400, but they don't have the resources to put on a new roof before they go to market, or maybe take out the old shag that's been well loved for years and years and smells like it, right? And pull that out and put in something like an LVP, or
Yeah.
something that's more, more updated, or a little bit more, or even newer carpet that's nicer, right? Um, they don't have the money to do that because they might only owe 200 on their mortgage,
Mhm.
but getting that money out takes time and takes qualification for home equity side. So
It
they've got
does.
these income that maybe they're retired and they don't have anymore to qualify for certain things. And home equity lines are great, and sometimes those work for those things, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
a faster scenario where somebody has to get to assisted living quicker, or there was an accident, or there was a death.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
where I can come in and say, hey, you know what, I can basically front you that, do this, help you with those improvements. And because I'm a licensed contractor, I mean, at the licensed contracting firm we have in house, everything is done with licenses intact, right? We
That's
don't
nice.
do a lot of things. We try not to do anything where we have to pull a permit, just because permit process takes forever. And frankly, those things don't require permits. When you're talking aesthetics, you're talking the roof, you're talking
Yeah.
counters.
Yeah.
Those are things that don't really require
Right.
permits, right?
Right.
So we're not moving wires, we're not pulling anything new, we're not adding anything. We're really just updating the house and fixing landscaping, and maybe taking care of some deferred maintenance is the lovely term we like to use. Just makes it sound nicer. Deferred maintenance items, right? That a buyer might come in and go, oh my gosh, or an uninformed real estate agent that might come in and go, oh, a roof's going to cost you $35,000. No, not really. Depending, it could, but
It
depending on the type of roof,
could, but yeah.
why not? So we have it already done, and the generation that's buying doesn't want to do work, nor do they a lot of times have the money, the liquidity to do the work. So
Absolutely.
they need to finance that roof
Yeah.
anyway. So we kind of present that already packaged done deal. And then what happens at closing is that, when we handle everything, we coordinate everything, we handle it all, but we get to select it all too. And then when I go and I sell their home, then they just basically reimburse as a line item for home improvement, which for some people also is a tax write-off. So it just depends
Yeah.
how they're doing things. It's a cost of selling the home, right? Just like
Right.
commission would be. So, to get the home up to par, basically. But then we avoid all kinds of other issues. We avoid all kinds of negotiation issue points. We avoid the fact that where they come at the last minute and say, "Oh my gosh, my client can't get homeowners insurance on this roof.
Mhm.
What are we going to do?" It's like, "Oh, we already did it, and we priced it accordingly." And so what tends to happen is, for every dollar I spend, typically they're getting back about $1.25 to $1.50 on perceived
That's
market
really
value.
cool.
So where that $400,000 house may have happened that way, and maybe I put in advance them 50,000 in improvements, they're selling it for close to 500,000. And
Well, I think
and
it's
they're making extra
amazing.
money, and they're it's a little more
Yeah.
time. We're very fast. I can have flooring in less than a week. I can have a roof depending on the schedule with the roofing contractors that I prefer, because I'm very picky about my subcontractors, because I
Yeah.
don't want callbacks. I don't want to have to deal with customer service issues. It's my name. My name is involved in it, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm very picky about that, and so but they usually find ways to work me into their schedule, just because I have a good volume going with them. So it's kind of
I
this whole
think
hidden
it's
part of my business that people don't know about.
but I think
Not
it well,
anymore.
they all do now.
Everybody know it now,
I think it's
which is fine.
amazing. It's almost like a reinvention,
Mhm.
and I've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And actually, I
Yeah.
think when you get older, it's totally cool to do it. Like it's
So
kind
yeah,
of
it
cool
was
to be
exciting.
like,
So
hey, I'm gonna do
it
the
was exciting, and it was funny because the one thing that we did have troubles with every now and again would be like, because I, for the most part, I run probably 95% of that business in addition to my real estate. I run a real estate team as well. Your home is the
Mhm.
team is a team of agents. Most of them are part time, and then myself, and that's just straight real estate services, buying, selling, like all that stuff. But it's kind of it works in tandem. It's a perfect fit, and it's been a perfect fit. And if for 5 years I've done probably 98% of everything. I mean, he's signs the contracts, reviews certain things, and
Mhm.
he's always been the financing side of things as far as, I just put money, I just deposit money. I'm just like, I just put the money in the cash.
You like
He
know
he
your
knows
lane.
he does, and
Like,
he because I trust him at this point, especially because, and it's a timing thing, like you said. I was literally the beetle on the back, stuck, and I was forced to trust another human being.
so
Fully,
universe.
for probably the first time in forever. Well, that's what's so funny because I was single-ish. Well, I was very single at the time that I met him, but 2 days before he came to this coast for training for
Yeah.
things when he was here, I had cut things off with somebody that I had an on and off thing with for like a couple years, and I was like, "This just doesn't work for me anymore. And I want this. I deserve something better than that." And it was crazy because literally, like within 48 hours,
It just
my
yeah.
delivery arrived. The
Yeah.
the roof at Brewer's Alley, actually. So I was
And yeah.
teasing. I'm like, I totally ordered this up. I was like, "Oh, when you
Yeah.
missed my order, you just had time to get through it." I
It's
was like, but we
it's
joke around about
funny
that all
how
the time,
you
but it's
can,
yeah,
like kind of see those
yeah,
things when you get older. You can start to see like
patterns and
patterns, all the things that
like
happen that got
coincidence. Like,
so
is it a
is
coincidence?
it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
should it be like, is it everything had to happen a
yeah.
certain way to get us
And
here?
it's the energy of things too, because again, coming from my background of having done like, and just even the way of growing my team, like all the things that I've been able to do, I feel like everything has happened for a reason. All the different relationships, the marriages, oh wow,
Even when it
like my marriages
sucks.
were lovely. I have no, I am a very lucky person. Again,
I can't say the
I've had
same.
lovely,
Like,
lovely relation. I meet lovely people, and we just stay lovely. And then he questioned that about me, like, why nothing was wrong with your marriage. Like, why did you? And I was like, I wasn't, I needed more personal growth. And I couldn't get that out of certain dynamics. And that's just the truth. And that's me being a little bit selfish for sure.
yeah.
But I look at like, what's the product of me being selfish? And I'm like, man, like, it's been really great. Like, I'm really blessed. And Josh has 5 kids. So I only had one, right? I had one biological child.
Mhm.
So it's like we have all these kids now in the mix. It's like, it's interesting how things kind of work themselves out and like,
I think that they do.
yeah.
What would you say? And so I've been running businesses for feels like forever.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things
Yeah.
that happen, good and bad.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most frustrating or irritating thing that you've had to experience? I know that,
Oh man.
and
Yeah, you
this
do
is
know what real
actually,
estate is like, right? There's like it's like a daily roller coaster of like, right. It's
it's,
like you saw me right before we even started this. I'm like, you were talking to who about what? Where?
oh yeah.
I won't say the name.
So that's
Who?
kind of like, when you run it, when
Yeah.
you own it, and everybody
Yeah.
wants to, they're like, oh my god, you're this is
Oh.
so great, right?
Or someone goes, oh, that must be nice. I go,
Oh,
oh,
I
well,
love that
like you
one.
don't know the pain of all
You
the
know how
time.
hard it is to
Yeah.
get to that point.
I used to get really offended and really annoyed by it, and now I'm just like, oh, yeah, it is.
It is nice.
Let me know if you,
I have
if you really
scars.
want to know. Right. Let me know if you
Yeah.
really want to know how much hard work and sacrifice does go into it, because there's quite a bit.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
quite a bit, and sometimes you have to women, I think, have a tendency to want to fix things and make things better for everybody and do all these things.
Mhm.
And there are times when you literally just have to shut the front door and walk out and move on to the next thing and do
Yep.
what you need to do. And I mean that on a micro level. I mean that on a versus sprint level.
Totally
Like where
agree.
you just have to be like, okay, and some people might go, oh my gosh, like, wow, what's wrong with her? Why'd she do that? Or,
Yeah.
oh, can you believe that she wasn't there for this person's this or that or the other thing? And it's like, you
Oh my
you
yeah.
find yourself, and that's where my husband now and I actually do have common ground, because he was stationed overseas quite a bit, and he had to kind of do that same thing, compartmentalize certain parts, knowing that him being away from the kids when they were younger was all because he was earning something that would benefit them in the long run, right? Like that same kind of thing.
There's a lot of sacrifices that you make. Like
Very similar,
you
yeah.
don't really, I don't think any, it's the same thing. It's like it always, the grass
Yeah.
is always greener. People
Right.
think that,
Right.
oh, because, I'm traveling all the time. They don't
Yeah.
understand, like, we're technically working
Yeah.
while we're doing this now. Not to mention how hard I work to get to
Well,
that point
and
where
that's
I
me
can
too.
be
That's
able
the
to do
part.
that.
So what you see
Oh, yeah.
on my Facebook feed, especially public, but more so for people who are friends with me on Facebook, and I don't friend anybody that I am not personally met on Facebook. Unlike a lot of people, I will not ever do that in a million years.
Either.
I may have met them once, and sometimes I'm like, where did I meet that person again? And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to scroll through and figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing about Facebook is that like it does tend to show, and this there's complaints about social media for this, right? It tends to show people all the best of the best kind of things. And sometimes if I ever get accused of that, I'm like, well, why would I want to show anything that's like less than savory or terrible or like they like it? Because I don't feel like this is my personal opinion about Facebook. I don't feel like its best use is complaining and its
Totally
best
agree.
use is being
Airing
sad.
journal
Best
laundry
use
is
is getting
not.
putting negative energy out into the
Well,
universe.
yeah.
I've never felt that way. So and I know everybody's different and people are going to use it for what they choose to use it for, but it doesn't mean that I have to, right?
No, of
And I
course not.
so I don't. So my stuff is absolutely. So if you were to look at my Facebook, you would go, like, "Oh, it's literally just like a highlight reel of fun crap I'm doing." But yeah, it is because
It's the same as mine.
these are the things I want to also remember when I look back.
I know. Like,
Okay.
so if like you were to disappear, like
Yeah.
somebody could say, okay, this is
Well, that too,
but
but
like some of the good stuff.
yeah,
Like this
that
is
too. But
stuff
like,
you want to
why there
remember
was
that
this
you did.
fascination, and this is a whole other tangent, total another pocket. There's a fascination in this country and in our current culture with obsessing over negative things.
Oh
A
yeah.
million things could go right for you today that you don't even know are going right for you. Yeah, we have clean water to that we flush every day. We flush clean water. All these things that you just aren't taking into account, like the house sizes today versus the house sizes like a million years ago are incredibly different, right? There's just so much more space to live in and things like that. But it's like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Right.
You feel like you're going to instead be more upset because something else bad happened here or there or over there. And then
Absolutely.
focus on that thing when it's like there's a million things that are great about today. And I don't want to sound like a total idiot because I'm not
But it's also
mama.
practicing, it's the concept of practicing like gratitude.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
something we are drastically, it's much more fun to bitch about things
Oh yeah.
that it
And
is to be
and
positive.
it gets more attention too sometimes, I think. I think that people get and some people get
Course it
stuck and
does.
some people get stuck in their own way with patterns of reading the Frederick Scanner every day and wondering why there's so many car accidents. I'm like, bro, like because the Frederick Scanner didn't exist for us to all stare at every day. Like I look at it occasionally if let me go wonder what that is real quick. I might pop on there to check, but I'm not going like, oh my gosh, there was an accident. Oh my
We
gosh.
might actually come back and talk
Wow.
about more of this
Yeah.
because
Anytime.
I have some funny, like, it's things I know. I actually like write these down sometimes just
Yeah.
to get them. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get
Good
upset. I'm gonna
strategy.
laugh, and then
It's a
just I'm
great
just I'm
strategy.
just gonna release it.
Right, deal with
There's
it and get rid of it. Right.
like
Yeah.
the process and release has gotten better
Mhm.
as I've gotten older, and it's maybe it's just because I'm tired and I way
Oh,
too many
yeah.
other things
Man.
to focus on. But finding,
Hormones will do that to you.
oh, I know.
They make
Like
you
you
want to
just
just
like
release,
you're just like
release, girl.
release it now.
Okay, I just don't
You
care.
think
Just
it's
don't care.
safer for
Try to
everyone.
catch me on a day where I care. It's getting tough. It's getting tough. But yeah.
Yeah,
But I
it's
can't but when you go back to the original question you asked about like the
like
worst and kind of thing like that, it's funny when I sit there and thinking about it. Again, in my business, it's up and like real estate is up and down because you're not only dealing with the market, which tends to be up and down, but you're dealing with like emotions of human beings involved in the mix, which tends to be up and down. So, the same, and I'm dealing with 10, 12 different clients at a time. So someone's having the best day ever because we just won like a multi-bidder deal and they're so excited about the new house.
yeah.
Maybe somebody's like maybe 2 weeks ahead of time and they found out that like I don't know that like maybe their job is changing and and then they might have to like you have to figure out a way for to get them out of the like there's a million different things. So I might be dealing with micromanaging the emotions
I
of a
imagine
dozen
this. I can see
different
this.
people at a time. And sometimes even within that clientele like group, right? Inside of that cohort, there's more emotions within their own family. So like the mom might feel a certain way, the dad might feel the other way, and the dog is feeling a certain kind of way. And
So it's not that different than what I do. I work with people in recovery and people that have mental health issues. So
yeah.
it's a we're working
Oh,
with sensitive.
in real estate, mental health issues are day to day.
Yeah, like
Because it pushes
like,
the emotions of getting a house, not getting a house, not getting what you thought you would get out of a house, or just people just not doing their job on the other side, and how we can't control some of these things. Like, what can you control? What can you not control? Try to establish that with people.
it's a really hard thing.
But that gives people micro mental health crises like all the time, like where they're just like, what am I going to do now? My degree is in psychology.
There you go.
That
So
is not on purpose, because it was just the easiest degree for me to get while I was playing soccer in college.
Well, actually, that's probably
funny.
serving you well.
It probably is.
I'm
Well,
gonna,
how
I'm
much I
gonna
went to
guess.
class, because that's 5-year plan. 5-year.
I'm gonna guess that actually.
But it
serves
probably
you well,
has
though.
prepared me in some ways for a lot of this stuff.
Well,
but-
because you're dealing with all different types of people.
and
and
try
so you
coaching
have to
middle school
relate.
girls.
I did.
Yeah, that
I coached
prepares you-
here.
right, exactly. So that prepares
Actually,
you
the
for-
middle school girls were my favorite.
Oh, they were so difficult. But
They
that prepares
were,
you.
but
That
it was-
prepares you for.
Oh yeah, I loved it though. That was my favorite age group.
They were good. They were easy. And actually, it's actually funny because coming full circle, some of the girls that I coached at Walkersville High School, like, and that was when I first come up to the area, and I think I was, and actually, I coached Walkersville probably when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. Yeah, because I was pregnant with Ritter at the time, and then I coached FCC. But when I was coaching up in that part of the county, I made a lot of friends with these kids, and a lot of them reconnected with me on Facebook as adults.
See,
Just crazy. And some of them have been my clients now.
about this.
Yeah, some of them have been my clients now.
So
and it's
where
wild.
can
And
people
one of them,
find you?
my favorite one, actually, she just became a real estate agent down in Virginia, and I'm so excited to watch her. Like, I was like,
see,
you're gonna be a real estate.
you're like a mentor. That's
So-
always
so-
that's always rewarding.
Yeah.
When you get to like
Yep.
see them grow.
It is. It is. That's probably been the most fun, especially with not having any daughters of my own. That I have stepdaughters now, but up until 5 years ago, no, I was always around boys, and then it was like, oh, they're kind of like my little.
That's cool. It's a way to kind of like
Give them back when you're done.
fill your cup.
It's like rent a children. Here, go back.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. But yeah, where can people find your business?
So I have a couple different websites, but the website that's kind of the main website to reach me best way would be it's yourhomesteadteam.com.
Okay.
We do have a Homestead Mods website as well, but that's kind of only something we don't really advertise to the public as much as we just work directly with clients for those projects.
This is kind of like word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facebook for
like
sure.
word of
Yeah,
mouth.
Facebook for sure. That actually is, I don't advertise heavily there, but it is where most people see that I'm doing that, because probably once or twice a week I will post something that does indicate that I'm still in the real estate business, but I don't like that, like down your roots kind of real estate.
Well, we'll put your links and everything in the comments,
Yeah.
so if people are are interested. And
Yep.
thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
true.
coming on, and I really hope that you come back, because I feel like we have a lot more stuff to talk about.
Oh yes, we
Um,
could talk for
Yeah.
months.
We post weekly. You can find us on Apple and Spotify. If you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you like the video and subscribe to our channel. You can also find our information on our website at allgreatthingsllc.life. No .com, so it's .life.
Life.
So thank you again, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
You gotta get out there and explore, baby, let your love